Tag TV, and Tag Radio, rapidly becoming the leading technology new media in all of Georgia and the Southeast. This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you by Integrated Learning Services, integratedlearningservices.com. Wait, worry, or take control. At integratedlearningservices.com, increase sales, productivity, and client retention. Lower training costs. integratedlearningservices.com. In the first few days attending kindergarten to those all-important final cap and gown graduation ceremonies, there is one unique and most productive partnership uniting one of the world's most formidable and innovative academic institutions with educational groups, schools, corporations, and opinion leaders throughout the state of Georgia. Its impact, that of a major earthquake, as it focuses its entire energy to one goal, ensuring that K-12 students in Georgia receive the best possible preparation in science, mathematics, engineering, and technology as they seek their place in the globally competitive world of tomorrow and beyond. The earthquake's impact? Well, it's seismic. That's right, CEISMC, seismic, the Center for Education Integrating Science, Mathematics, and Computing at Georgia Tech. Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, April 13, 2010, and this is part 2 of a very special 4-part series of Tech Talk focused on STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math throughout our schools in Georgia. With your host for this special look at the education of Georgia's workforce of the future is John Hurlbut, founding executive director of the Technology Association of Georgia's Education Collaborative. Today, John speaks with Jeff Rosen, program director at CEISMC, to share insights into the partnership for its dynamic initiatives, exciting one-of-a-kind programs for students and teachers, and to learn more about CEISMC's recently awarded $3.5 million grant from the National Science Foundation for a program for 8th graders integrating design, engineering, and robotics. Jeff is a recognized mathematics instructor, and he has spent his career working to develop an advanced science course that would blend physics and robotics. Now, this approved course by the state, known as Post-AP Advanced Physics Robotics, is used by students for design and use of robotic systems. In 2007, Jeff took the position of program director at CEISMC. Tech Talk goes back to school as John Hurlbut, the Technology Association Education Collaborative Executive Director, takes a look at into a seismic journey into the future of the students of today and the technology leaders of tomorrow with its program director, Jeff Rosen.
Jeff, welcome to Tech Talk.
Hey, thank you.
We have been doing here at the TAG Education Collaborative a bit of work with the Center for Education Integrating Science, Mathematics, and Computing, or CEISMC, which you're the program director of. I was wondering if you could tell our audience a bit about CEISMC, its missions and goals and so forth.
I'd be glad to. So CEISMC is the outreach arm for Georgia Tech here in the Atlanta area. We actually have a number of projects that take us all around the state for that matter. But CEISMC's main mission and goal is to bring real experiences and some of the research activities that take place on Georgia Tech's campus to the K-12 environment through student programs as well as teacher professional development and training of the K-12 educators on current and, in some cases, future science and engineering research that are taking place here on Georgia Tech's campus.
Well, you mentioned teacher development. I understand that there is a greater teacher gap in some cases than there is an education gap in Georgia or even nationally. Tell us about what CEISMC does with regard to teacher development and, in particular, their GIFT program.
Well, CEISMC, realizes, and so does Georgia Tech as an institute, the fact that, the key to changing the students that eventually will come to Georgia Tech is through the teachers. And so we've made it a primary goal to develop programming for the teachers that gives them real-world experiences of the math and science that they are teaching the students, gives them experiences with that, gives them the knowledge behind it, and keeps them up to date on what is happening with that science so that they can provide a rich experience for the students. And as you mentioned, one of the kind of our flagship programs for doing that is our GIFT program, which is the Georgia Intern Fellowship for Teachers. And what it does is gives teachers an opportunity to apply for summer employment. They are stipend paid for their summer experience, but they go for anywhere from 7 to 8 weeks in their summertime into either a research lab at a university. Many of them take place here at Tech, but we do have some partnerships with other research areas around the state. Or, in many cases, private businesses have opened up their doors and allowed teachers to come in and really get a feel for how the standards that they are being asked to teach by the Department of Education relate to the real world and how the real world relates back to their classroom. And at the end, they're expected to actually develop an action plan for how they will take their experience to the classroom. And it really gives the teachers an understanding of why they're teaching the students a particular concept, but it also allows that teacher to connect closer to the child and say, let me tell you what I did this summer, and that's why you need to know this information as well.
Yeah, that's excellent. I know that you were connected with some fantastic global companies, Cisco, GE, and others, and I've heard nothing but great things about that program, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Also, moving on to students, I know you support a number of competitions throughout the state. Most are in particular the First Lego League and First Robotics. I know you're excited about those two. Can you tell us a bit about them?
I'd love to. Those are my passion. A lot of my work is in working with the engineering and tying it to the math science content. So the engineering competitions that FIRST offers our students is one of the major parts of my work, and that's the exciting part for me. Georgia Tech is, and myself individually, are the operational partners for the First Lego League, which is a middle school based, ages 9 to 14, using the Lego NXT Mindstorm platform. And the students are challenged each year with a new theme, and they are to create an autonomous Lego-based robot to complete a set of challenges or missions centered around that theme, but then they also are required to do research on the theme that is presented that year. And the theme changes every year, so the kids cannot just take what a group before them would have done or what they did the year before and improve on it. They have to master it all that first go-round. And it's not about mastering it to perfection. It's about mastering it so that they have a good, solid understanding of the theme and the experience. And it's a great start for a student to realize that, what I like to refer to as play to learn is, an exciting way for them to get engaged in math and science. And then, of course, that feeds into the First Robotics competition, which is a high school level, and there's also an FTC, or the First Tech Challenge, which are both high school level competitions. The FTC program uses a smaller platform. The robots are about 18 inches cubed in size, but the kids start to work with metal. They work with DC motors. They have to understand computer programming. They have to understand efficiency loss, and it really starts to get the students to think outside of just, let's put something together, and if it's not the way we want it, we can take it back apart and play again, because they're under a time constraint. In the FTC and FRC, the First Robotics and First Tech Challenges, they only have 6 weeks in most cases to get it done, and so they have to go from learning what they're supposed to be doing to a completed design that is functional within 6 weeks. The First Robotics one, those robots can be up to 120 pounds. They can be totally free-form design out of any material that the team deems usable, with a few exceptions and parameters, and they do have a cost structure, so they have to keep it within a budget, so they learn how to budget their materials and not waste the materials as they do their designs. And then, the best part about it is they then get to bring it and see how other people envisioned the challenge and built something to complete the similar challenge. But in many cases, you'll go to a competition and no two robots will work the same. And that's, the greatest learning experience for a lot of these kids, to realize that in the end, we are completing the similar task, but the means that we got to completing it are completely different, but they both work.
Jeff, one of the things that really impresses me about that particular program is the magnitude of it. Now, I went to the worldwide competition last year. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about just the size and scope of this program?
You wouldn't believe it. Those of you out there who have never seen or attended a first event, I would strongly recommend you go see it, because you're talking about a program. For example, the first Lego League program worldwide has nearly 80,000 young people that participate in it. The first robotics competition, again, a worldwide program, has nearly 30,000 high school students participating in it. And, the excitement, this is, sporting event. This is kids dressed up in costumes. This is, students painting their faces, creating cheers. It is an electrifying sense, and it does culminate with a world competition. So, those of you in the Atlanta area, it happens to be on April 14th, 15th, and 16th of this year. The World Championships, first championships, will take place at the Georgia Dome in the World Congress Center. And the best thing about this is you can bring kids. It's very kid-friendly, and all the events are free. So it's a great way to get a young person interested in STEM learning at an early age and give them an experience and let them look at other young people that are accomplishing the same goals.
It's quite exciting. I was at it for the first time last year, and it's like the Super Bowl and the Olympics and everything else thrown in together. It's quite an event. You all deserve a lot of credit for what you've done to build that. We have a couple minutes left, and I'd like you to speak to, if you don't mind, a grant that CEISMC has received from NSF called the Slider Grant. I think it's for it impacts middle school students with robotics. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, we'll be glad to. So SLIDER stands for Science Learning Integrating Design, Engineering, and Robotics. And it is a research grant, so it's not just to develop something and put it in place. It's actually to research its impact. And SLIDER is designed around the 8th grade physical science curriculum and engineering and robotics as the context for learning. In many cases, the teachers, consistently share with us the need to teach the standards, and they don't have time to do all this other stuff. And what SLIDER is hoping to show them is that young women, students in economically disadvantaged areas, as well as students in our suburban areas, that all of those individuals, if the context of the learning is embodied in something that is made real to them, that they will learn the material that is needed, they will learn it and retain it, and will therefore perform at least the same, if not better, than they would on the standardized tests. So as most everybody out here knows, a lot of our education system is graded on how well a student can take a particular test, not how well they know the material, and therefore a lot of our educating comes down to making sure that they know how to answer the questions on the test. And what we hope to resolve with Slider is that if you contextualize it in a real world, real experience, that you will be able to teach everything that the kids need to know for the tests in a way that they will understand it and be able to use it to the best of their abilities, and one, do well on the test, but two, and the most important one is be able to use it in the way that it was meant to be used.
Jeff, this has been a fantastic session. You really described to the listeners the great work, or actually only some of the great work that CEISMC is doing, and you in particular, I know, has your hands in a lot of this, and I just want to say thank you for spending time with us today. And but before we leave, I would like to ask you if someone wanted to reach you at CEISMC or reach someone at CEISMC to ask about some of these programs, how would they contact you?
Sure. Well, first of all, let me thank you for the opportunity to share with the listeners about the department that I work in and some of the programs that we're doing. It's always exciting for people to understand how things are being done to better the education system for the state of Georgia. To reach CEISMC, you can visit our website, which is www.CEISMC.edu, and on there's a contact us link that they can use there, or they can actually call our offices, which our phone number here is 404. I got 385-2431, and that number is actually my office number, my desk number, and we can get them to the right person.
Okay. Well, Jeff, again, thank you very much for joining us today on Tech Talk.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.